Hello, good evening, ma.
So module 5 that we are going to do today in quantitative techniques. So we are going to look at the regression analysis and correlation analysis. That's the last module that we are going to do today.
Okay, ma.
So what is regression and correlation analysis? Regression and correlation analysis, all of them are talking of relationship between one variable and another. And the difference is that one is talking of the nature of the relationship, while one is talking of the extent of the relationship. The regression analysis is talking about the nature of the relationship between one variable and the other, which one variable is independent, the other one is dependent variable. Why correlation analysis is talking of the extent of the relationship. But let's start with regression analysis. When we finish with regression analysis, we now talk of the correlation analysis. So, and I said regression analysis, which I already explained, is relationship between variables. You know, it's talking about relationship between variables, two variables, the nature of that relationship. Is a mathematical equation that deals with prediction. That is regression analysis. It deals with prediction, you know, and the prediction in the sense that the one that is being, the one that you normally call the independent variables. But that's one that you predict the value of that is called the dependent variables. I don't know whether you understand. I say regression analysis talking about the nature of the relationship of one variable to another, the difference between one variable and the other, or it can be more than one variable. It can be two variables. It can be more than one variable. I will still discuss about, but I'm trying to explain more on the regression analysis. It is a mathematical equation that expresses the nature of the relationship existing between variables. And these variables is used in prediction. And I say the equation that predicts the value of one variable is the one that is normally called the dependent variable. Why the one that is used in that prediction? You know what is prediction? You are predicting. You know, is a futuristic something that is you are trying to predict how things is going to be in future. You know, that's what I mean by prediction. That is looking at foreseeing what will happen. Do you understand? So, and I say that the variable that will be used in that prediction is the one that is called independent variable. Do you understand? But the one that is being predicted is the one that they call dependent variable. Let me give you an example. Okay, let me start. What do you mean by dependent variable? Which I already said. Dependent variable and independent. Let me give you an example of dependent and independent variable. Assuming you are writing a project now, and you want to know the nature of you are looking at the objective, like in objective you said. You want to know the nature of the relationship between the advert and sell of your product. Do you understand? That is another thing. We are predicting to know the nature of the relationship between the advert and sell of your product. Which one is now dependent variable and which one is independent variable in advert and sell? Advert is called independent variable. Why sell is called the dependent variable? Because sell is being dependent on the advert you will do on your product. You know, that is where you know the quantity you will sell. That is where you know the profit you will make. Do you understand? Because if you do a lot of adverts, you know, you are going to sell well. Let me use telecommunication as an example. You know, Glo, Airtel, every time they're doing an advert, some people might say, why are they wasting their money in advert? People have already known them. It is not, even if you are being known in a business, with time, you still do adverts in some areas, and also you still do it so that people will still remember, because if you didn't do persistent in your advert, other company, when they come, you won't even, your name will die off. They won't even know you again. Because when you are doing advert, and when you are doing advert, it depends on the amount you put in the advert. You also be the output, what your sale will be. Because when you are doing advert, like Glo now, you know, when Glo, they are doing advert, you know the people they are using. They are using those stars. People that when people, they will look at, they will say, this person use Glo, okay, maybe this thing, they will use it. But if they use people that they does not matter, you know, some people might not even look at them. Like, you know, there is a time a Tisalet being in existence. I don't know whether it's still in existence now. Because no adverts, nothing. So nobody's even hearing of a Tisalet again. But Glo, Airtel, NTN, you know how they use every time they are doing adverts. And the more they do adverts, that is how they sell. They sell a lot. You know, people patronize it. You know, many people are using Glo. Even me, I'm using Glo. I use MTN. It depends. Because through this advert, all these things are given, you know, all these things to make, you know, people motivate some people to say, okay, let me even start using this thing. And it will not determine yourself. Have you seen it? So the sale is being dependent on the advert. Advert is independent. For you to know what you will sell is how you do your advert, the amount you be invested in the advert you do. That is will determine the volume of your sale or the value of, you know, how you will sell. So let's just go straight and look at this thing. And then when there is two variables, that's a dependent and independent variable, you call it a bivariant regression analysis. But when there is more than two independent variable that is involved, is multiple regression. Then when it's a straight line, is linear. You know, anything that is straight line is linear regression. And when it's in a curve, we call it convenient. Read all these things and know it. It's very important. I'm not supposed to be saying it, you're supposed to read it. I say you should read this thing. Let me just go straight to what we do. Let's look at this illustration. And this regression analysis has two basic thing. There's a graphical and least square method. Two methods of doing this prediction, regression analysis, estimating the regression analysis. There's a graphical method and a least square method. Let's look at the graphical method first. Let's do with the graphical method so that you understand what I mean. Let's look at this illustration now. This consider the following product. Okonkwo owns a restaurant in Enugu. He believes that changes in his expenditure and in advertisement lead to changes in his sales. Have you seen it? That Okonkwo believes that Okonkwo believes that changes in his expenditure in advertisement. You know what it means? That when he changes his expenditure, meaning investing more on this advertisement, it will lead to changes in his sales. It's true, because when you invest more and do your advert very well, it will change the sale figure. Then based on this, he will like to use advert expenditure to predict future sale. Because I told you about this thing is all about prediction. You know, prediction. And I say the one being used in the independent and the one that is being predicted dependent, which I say. So let's look at how this thing will be, how you will use it to predict your future sale. That will come what we use it to predict your future sale. So this is the years. How many years? 7 years. Then this is advert expenditure, and this is sales, all in thousands. It means that in year one, when Okonkwo spend 1,000. The cell is 19. After this thing, because this is prediction, when you solve it now. So when 2 years, when you spend 2,000, so you sell 32,000, the volume of products. No, take it till the 7 years. So let's now see, because I told you about there are two methods of fixing a straight line or linear equation to a data, which is being graphical method and least square method. For this prediction, you know, I told you there are two methods. When you talk of graphical method now, let's look at the graphical method. Let's plot that thing in a graph. And for you to estimate the equation for the regression equation is y, that is the calculated of independent variable, equals to A is normally intercept, that is, it represents intercept. B is the slope plus the slope times the dependent variable, which is x. Know this thing. We call it regression equation. That is what we call it. It's a straight line, is a linear. When it's called linear, because when you plot the graph will be in a straight line. That is why it's linear, straight line linear equation. That is a regression equation. Because when they say set the regression equation, you know, when they say drive the regression equation, you know it's y, calculated y of the independent variable equals to A is the intercept plus B is the slope, then S is the dependent variable. That is the regression. So when you finish solving, when you substitute it, you now know the value. So that is what it's after you read. But what I'm doing is just to summarize for you to know it. So, okay, they even express it here. Y is the calculated value of dependent variable. Then A is the intercept of the vertical, then B is the slope. YS is the independent variable. So, which is this formula now. So let's look at this thing now. We will use this figure they give to plot this graph. This figure now. The one they plotted here, you know, a lot of mistake. When you plot it yourself, you will see that you plot it well. But this one is a guess, you know, the developer just did it. When you check it, it didn't even fall in the figure it's supposed to be. But just know, you know how to plot graph using X and Y. This is Y variable. Then this is X. This Y represent the cells. Y, this X represent the advert. This is the advert, which is X. This cells represent the Y variable. Just know it. So you are plotting 1 against 19, 2 against 32. Assuming that 10 cm is using 10 units as 10 cm. When you say 10, 20, 30, depending. Then the same thing with this. You say 10, 20, 30, 40 to 60. Then this one maybe to 40 or 30 because it ends on 20. You know how to plot graph now. Using maybe 1 cm to represent a 10 units. The same thing with this. Or you can use 2 cm depending on how you want to plot it. I'm just telling you that this advance, that expenditure represents S variable. Then this one is Y. So you are plotting Y, this X against Y, which it means that when S is 1, Y will be 19. When S is 2, Y will be 32. When S is 4, that is how you plot it. So when you check this one, they plotted now, you know that it didn't fall in well. So when after you did it, because we want to determine the intercept and slope, because you know the regression equation, this one, you know the regression equation, this one is the dependent variable, which Y calculation of dependent Y equals to A is the intercept, B is the slope, Y this one is the independent variable. So know it. So when you finish plotting the graph, let me show you how to get the intercept and the distance. So when you want to plot now, the X is 1. When S, then this, you use 2 cm as using 2, this is 1 cm, 2 cm, represent 10 units. You know, when you say represent 10, this one 10. 20, 30. But for y axis, 10 cm, 1 unit represents 10 units, you know, that is how it goes. So when x is 1, y is 19, that is what it means. You know, this place with 19, this is 20, this is 19. When you come down to s now, that is 1. See the plot now. Then the other one, I think when the other one is 2, the other one should be 32. So you plot it against it. This is 32. This is 2. This is s now. When you say y 32, this is 32. Come down to s, which is 2. That is how you will plot everything. When you plot it against, then how you now get your linear, you will fit in, look at where the line that will fit in the regression line very well. Because when you want to draw this one now, when you are drawing it, it might be just 1. But you know the one that's the best fitting, that many dots will enter. That is what you will look at. So when you want to plot this one now, when you draw the straight line, it might be just 1. Okay, you now look at this one again. When you want to draw this one now, it's just 1. Then you come to this place. Have you seen this? When you are drawing this one, have you seen the fitting number that is entry? About 3 dots. Have you seen it? Then when you want to draw this one now, this one, have you seen? It will just be 1 cell. When you want to draw this one, have you seen it? So this is the one that is best fitting, that you get the regression line now. Have you seen? When you are drawing, you have to be very careful. When you plot this thing very well now, that person should mute herself or himself. I don't know. Is it stopping? So when you are drawing the regression line now, you check the one that best fitting, that this dot will enter, which is this line. So how did you get the intercept now? The intercept is the one that, have you seen? This is the y variable. And this line now, and when you are cutting it, the thing, when you draw it like this now, you will see that it intersects on y here. Have you seen it? And when you check the y where it intersects in 28, assuming this is 20, when you draw it, you know, when you use graph, you will check it very well. But this is just, you can use your own. Anywhere that join here, you check the number that is here. But this developer now say his own is 28, because maybe when you draw it in your own draft, you know the number. So it assumes that this place is 28. So it is 28. So you call this place now intercept, because it intersects in y. You call it intercept. So how do you get the slope? How you get the slope now? You check the highest where the dot is. When you check the highest, you draw it here to x, y axis, and you also draw to s axis and pick out the number that is there. Even the one he did here is wrong, because when you check the one he do, when you draw this thing down, this place will be 20. When you draw this one up for this place will be 50 something. You know, not 50. So I want you to learn it. Forget about the one he did here, but know it, so that when you are drawing your own, you know what I mean by slope and intercept. Forget about the number that's being picked, but just know how to determine it. First of all, determining the intercept is where the thing join here and cuts. So you check where it's now intersecting this y. You know why? This is y now. Where intersecting y, which I say that y is the dependent variable. This is the dependent variable. Where intersect, this is y. So I assume that intersect at 28. Then to check the slope, you say the highest. This place will now be highest. Yeah? The highest of y, which is this. When you check this one now, it will be 50 something, not 50. You know, you say 50. But when you draw your own to where y is, it will be more than 50, because this is the highest. You draw it, it will be 50 something. Then if you want to check the highest for x, you now draw it down. Have you seen it? When you draw this thing down now, you check it, it will be even be 20. But when you plot your own, which is this place, which is 50, like, you know, he say his own is 50, and he draw it and say it's 15, you know, which is wrong, because you check where the thing intersects, the highest and the least. Have you seen it? This is the, when you draw it now, it's supposed to be 20. Have you seen it? Which is the S, the highest for X. Then when you check the small one now, when you draw it here, it's supposed to be 30. Okay, you say 31. Maybe it's 31 or 32, something like that. If you do it well, it can be 31, 32. But you say his own is 31. So when it's 31 or 32, which is the highest, the least for Y, that is why you say 50 minus 31. The highest is, I know I say when you do it well, it might be 50 something, but you say 50, which is 54 minus 31. Then the highest for X is 20. When you do your own, it might be 20 or 20 something. 21. Then the least for this, when you draw it down now, that is why you say 5. Because when you draw your own down, it might be 5 or 4 self. It's supposed to be 4 minus 4. That is want to teach you how to get the slope. Then that is this minus, which is 19 over this. When you divide it, it will be 1.9, which means that the intercept being B is 1.9. Why the slope is 1.9. Why the intercept is 28. That is what it implies. So when you are now substituting to the regression equation, we call it regression equation, straight line equation. But know that this is regression equation, which is Y. You know, I say that this one, Y is the dependent, equals to the intercept plus the slope times the independent variable. So this is 28 being the intercept plus the slope. So you now know this is now the equation. But for you to determine your predicting, you know, we want to predict, to know the advert. When we put more on advert, what will be the cell? Do you understand? And you know that this we are determining the cell now. Then S is now the advert. Anything you put here, which is advert, to determine the cell now, which is this Y is depending on this thing to know the outcome, what the cell will be. Because Y is now the dependent variable, which is Y. You are looking at, when you substitute the advert now, any amount which is advert, you now add it. It now determines your cell, because we are predicting. Have you seen that? This is the prediction, but which is I told you that the prediction, what the value you are using, the variable used in the prediction is called what? Which I said, it's called the dependent variable, which the one that is being predicted. Sorry, the one that is used in prediction is called independent variable, because you are using S to do the prediction. But the one that you are predicting now is the dependent variable, which is Y. Because we want to predict now. And this one is now using in the prediction. Have you seen that thing I explained now? So this is the question now. Assuming, let's come down. There's something they say, okay, before the least square method. Okay, he said there's a way he said assuming, okay, let's go down. Okay, when you read, you also the bet. There's a way we say assuming the advert. This one is least square method. I just want to use this one. Also, they're using the hair. See the prediction now. See what I'm talking about. They said here, it has been said earlier on the purpose for the head. Then he said, Mr. Okonkwo may want to know the amount of cells. Are you listening now? We want to know the amount of cells, which is Y equals to that will be generated by an advert expenditure of 60,000. Are you getting it? He may also like to know how much he must spend on advert in order to make 100,000 cells. Have you seen the opposite? Let's now say that when you use 60 now, let's go back. We'll still come to this scale. When we go back now and substitute 60 here, this thing will solve. Good. When we put 60 now, because he said, assuming he want to invest 60,000. So when you put 60, you know everything is 1,000. When you put 60 now, times it with this thing. When you times it and add it, you now know what it means. When you add it, you know the value. You now know that when you put the advert, see the number of cells. You now know this number. I think they solve it down, but I just want to explain it well before we see what is solved. But I just want to explain what it is in case before we this one is least square method. Let's just do, because I've explained it, but let's do this least square method because we still use it to do the prediction. Let's just do everything together. Then this is the least square method, which you can read this one. This one is just the least square method, which the same thing, knowing the line of best fit. That is also a linear equation, is also a linear. But that least square method is a mathematical equation that you get. You want to determine, you are determining now the S, because the first one is just the graph. You just plot S against Y. But the least square method is not like that. There's a formula how you determine your slope and how you determine your intercept. You are not using graph to determine it. There is a formula that you use to determine your slope and the formula you use to determine your intercept. That's the difference between the graphical and the least square method. Least square, that you are determining the figure that you now use to determine your intercept, and the one that you are using to determine your slope. That is the difference. It's not like this, because all these things will help the analysts in decision making. You know, from the genesis, I told you about quantitative techniques. It's a mathematical based technique that help management in making decisions. All these things we are doing is decision, because we are predicting. When you predict and see how your future sale will be, you now know that, oh, when I put this advert amount in advert, my future sale, look at the amount I will make for sale. It's a prediction, and it's now you are using it to make decision whether to invest on it or not. Are you getting it? Because everything I'm doing, I want you to know, because you will know the topic. Knowing the topic, what the topic is all about. Everything you are doing under the topic will still fall in decision making. Because this quantitative technique lie on decision making. It helps management in making decisions. Because this thing we are doing is also help you want to predict, to help your business, the firm or businessman to make decisions, you know, to predict on how his future sale will be. So, and this is different between the difference between the graphical is just plotting S against Y. But this one is, you are now the one that will generate what the slope will be and what the intercept will be using the formula. Let's still use that the question for Mr. Okonkwo, which is this question now. This is the same question for Mr. Okonkwo. So always know this formula. This is for intercept. Intercept is the summation of Y. You know what Y is. You know what Y is. Y is the dependent variable. Minus the slope times the summation of independent variable, which is S. All over the number. Number meaning the number of years. That is the intercept. For you to determine the slope, is N, summation of SY minus summation of S times summation of Y. All over N summation of S square minus this. That is the formula. You know this formula. Once you know this formula, you are there. But you are now the one that will determine it in order to substitute the figure, to know your intercept and know your slope. So it's the same for this thing, question you are using. You know, it's 7 years. This one is the advert. This one is the cell. You know this thing. And the same S, which is the advert, and Y is the cell. Then for you to determine it, you are now saying the advert times the cell. And again, whatever you want to determine S is S square, which the advert square. That is how to determine it, to get it. Then what you now do, getting S times, which is S times this, you get it, this times this times it. Then S square means you square this one. After you sum everything, this is now where you get all this formula now. Then the first one, S square, summation of S is 57. Summation of SY is 294. Summation of SY is 284. And summation of S square is 75. So when you substitute now, for you to get the intercept equals summation of Y, which is 294, then minus B, which means you haven't gotten B. It means you must get the slope before you get the intercept. Have you seen it? Because you haven't known the value of B. B is the slope. In this case, just write out the formula. You first of all determine the slope before the intercept. But in graphical method, it's very easy to determine the slope. You know, the difference between the graphical and this thing is that it is very easy. That one is very simple. It can be, the disadvantage is that it needs a specialist in drawing, in getting the linear. Because once you make a mistake, you are getting it wrong. That is the difference now. But it's very easy to determine. But this one requires a mathematical equation. You know, it takes time. That is the difference now. I'm telling you now, advantage and disadvantage. After you still read it, there are many advantages and disadvantages. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg. What I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg. When you go deep now, you know everything. Understand it, read more, and know better. I'm just giving you the tip because I'm not going to read it for you. I'm just telling you so that when you are reading, you understand it more. That's my essence of imparting this knowledge. So, first you get the slope first before the intercept because you don't know the value of B. So, what you now do, N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. N is now 7 because it's 7 years. Summation of SY, which does what you mean is just substitute all these things. You know it now. S square. This is S square. Summation of this S square, which is this. You know, minus X minus this. Just substitute it. This one is now summation of X. Is summation of S bracket square. It's different from this one. So know it. So when you determine the B now, you now substitute it now and get your A. You know, in this case now, you have getting your A, which is the intercept, and this one is slope. We still use that prediction because I say you can use it in your this one and use this. So after solving it now, have you seen it? Your B is 1.55. Why your A is? Let's see what A is. A is, have you seen? Approximately your A is 29.32. So when you fix it in the regression equation line now, it will be calculated because this one calculated of this variable of dependent variable, which is equals to 29, this the intercept, 0.30 plus the slope, or S. You know what X is? S is now the independent variable, which is you call a regression equation line. This is estimated regression equation, which is this thing, using the least square method. Then we still use that prediction, which I said, assuming the 60. You are using 60 to do this, which is this is where they do. This means that when you now substitute the 60 now and get it, you know, this is in 1,000. It means that for you to, when you put that advert now, put 60,000 in your advert, the sales you are going to make is 122,380 sales. 380 cells. 380 cells. So that is what it means. So the second one is a calculation of using the estimated regression equation to determine the amount of adverts. This one is sales you determine. But this one is, we want to know the amount of advert expenditure that you will put in order to make sale of 100,000. Have you seen the difference now? This one is saying, when you put 60,000 in advert, invested 60,000 in advert, you are making 122,380 sales. That is the sales you are going to make. But in this case now, they said, vice versa now, that what expenditure will you put, what amount will you put in the advert now in order to generate 100,000 sales? Have you seen it now? What will you do now? Because it means what you do now is you want to determine this one now. First of all, you have determined Y to get it. What you are determining now is X. You have known that Y is this. You are determining S now. S is what you are determining, which is the independent variable. That is the advert. When you now say the 100, because the Y is now the sales. Y is the cell, which is the dependent variable, which is 100,000, equals to 29.38, which is the intercept, you know, which is constant. Know that when you get intercept, it's constant, but slope varies. It depends on what the independent variable says that we change the slope. Slope varies, but intercept is constant. Know that one. Because when you put X now, this slope will change. The amount will change. But this one is constant. This is 100,000, which is down the cell, which is equals to the intercept plus the slope times the S. Because what we are looking at is X. S is the advert, which is the independent variable. You now say 100 equals to this. Okay, you are making S the subject of the formula. You know how to calculate it. When you make S the subject of the formula, this one will come over. This one will now be 100. When this one is coming to minus this, which is equals to this, because you want to make this S the subject of the formula. You know, you make it equals to. Then when you say this minus this, all over, when you're taking S, this one will now be divided. I'm not supposed to be teaching you this. This is elementary math, you know. Then X, which is the advert, equals to 45. It means it's 45,560. Now, for you to invest, you will invest 45,560, 45,560 naira for you to get 100,000 shares. That is what it means. Have you seen it now? Have you seen it now? That is what you invest for you to get that thing. Have you seen? To generate 100,000, Okonkwo need to invest 45,560 naira. That is the investment you made for you to get 100 cents. So understand it, because this is very sweet. That is regression. How to use this great prediction of variable. First of all, knowing the nature of the relationship, because all of them is talking of the relationship between the sales and the advert, because that is the nature of the relationship now. And also deal with prediction. You know, prediction. I want you to, when you go, you read it very well. Read it very well. So that is it. Then there is one, the goodness of fit. That is, goodness of fit is getting the fitness of this regression. That is what I mean in plotting. Like this one now, they draw it just one. When it is scattered, goodness of fit is how you are going to draw the linear in order to get the regression line and fit in those dots. What you plot, that is goodness of fit. That's all about good enough. That's fit the regression line. That is all about goodness of fit. So read it very well. All these things just for me. I want to just say the important area that when you are reading, you might not understand it well. Then another one is standard error of estimate. There's one they call standard error of estimate, just the same thing, which is donated with S square. And this is the formula. Formula is S square equals to square root of summation of Y minus Y, calculated Y this thing, bracket square all over N minus 1. That is the formula. I will show you. You're just using the Y and calculated Y to get it. I will show you how to do it. But this is the formula. See how you calculate it and get the formula. see that thing we did. This is X, this is Y. Have you seen it? This is calculated Y. What do I mean by calculated Y? Because you will be mistake. And to get it, Y minus calculated Y. And Y minus calculated Y square, you square this thing. How do you get this thing? Calculated Y, let's go back. How you calculate this thing? That's regression equation line, where we say Y, calculated Y equals to the intercept plus the slope, the intercept plus the slope, which is slope X. Let's go back and let me go back and tell you how to get all these ones. When you go back, okay, just know that X here is 1. The second one is 2. Third one is 4. This is X. All this one is X. 1, 2, 4, 6. This is X. But let's just do this first one for you to know how they drive at this. Then when you substitute S again, you know how to add it, you get this one. Just go back. So that's regression equation line. I just want to show you how to get this thing. Okay, this is the regression equation line. It's CYC, that is calculated of the dependence equals to the intercept plus the slope. You know, S is here, forgetting about this 60. S is here. For you to get that in, when you say 29.30 plus 1 point, you know, the first S is 1. When you substitute the Y, 1 times this, it will give you 1 point this. When you say 29.38 plus 1.8, when you add it, you get this first one. Then when you substitute the second one, the 2, it's supposed to 2. When you times it and add it with this, you will get it. That is how, just what you knew, that take S to substitute here. When you times it and sum it, you get the calculated Y. That is what it means. That is how to drive all these ones. That is how you drive all this one. Just substitute the S. When you substitute this one and add it, you get this one. When you substitute the second one, S, and add it, you get this one. That is how you do it. Then after it, you now say Y, this Y minus the calculated S. That is how you get this one. You now say 19 minus this. Are you seeing it? Because Y minus this calculated, you get this one. This minus this. Do you understand? Then after you square it, no, what he did here, this is a mistake, sorry. This is, this is a mistake. This is supposed to be SY as we are doing this. So this is a mistake, sorry. I'm supposed to tell you this is a mistake. This second one, you times X. This how we did it. That is times X, XY. This place is supposed to be SY. You know, I told you a lot of mistake is here. This one is XY, not S minus this. Is a mistake, which is 1 times this, you get this one. 2 times this, you get this one. This times this. Then after now, you now say Y minus this square. Is a mistake. You square this thing. Then after you get, sorry, when you times this one, you still get this Y minus this. When you get it, you still get it. A lot of mistake is this. When you get it, you square it. You still get Y minus this, but this column, I want to tell you that this column is X times this. For you to get this column is a mistake. It's not column for this Y minus this. Then after, when you get Y minus this, using this one to minus, using this Y minus this, you know, this minus this, this minus this, this minus this. Then after, you now square it. You square this thing. Then when you go, you do it. You square it. So this column is S, this. That's what the correction I want to make. Because there's a lot of correction. Just understand it. Then after you square it, for you to get the formula, you know the formula. So because this is what you are looking at, a summation of y minus this square. This is the total. You know the formula is square root of, this is the formula, summation of y of minus n be 7 minus 2. Then for you to get it, but for you, just for you to know it, when they say standard error of estimate, but the main thing is the graphical method and least squares square. This one just when you just still want to determine the standard error of estimate, if there is need, you know it. That's one. Then when you now want to determine it using that slope and intercept, this is it, which is square root of summation of y square. Have you seen it now? In that case now, you will determine y square. Because this one now, you determine the y square minus the intercept, summation of y, minus the slope, summation of sy, all over n minus this. All these things just formula. Once you see the formula, when you are doing the calculation, you are determining it. In that case now, you will find s square, what s square will be. You will find what y will be. You will find what s y will be. Because when you find it, that is when you now get the summation of it. All these things, you just know it. It's very good. Even if it's not sake of exam, it's good for you to have an idea and know it. When you want to determine the standard error of the estimate, which is, that is where the breaking. Y is the actual observed value, which is calculated value of y using the estimated regression equation, which the one we are doing, we did. So that is it. After solving it, when you substitute it, you get it. Then let's just quickly read it. That's all about the regression. You can still read further, but you have known what regression is talking about. Let's quickly go to correlation. What is correlation? Correlation, which I told you, is talking about the extent of the relationship. I want to explain it very well. Correlation, regression is talking about the nature. Correlation is just trying to tell us the extent of the relationship between two variables. All of them deal with two variables. You know, the relation between, extent of relation between two covariables. Let me still say, because it might not even be here, but it's good to know knowledge. Because when you read correlation Y, there's a lot of things that are not here, which you're supposed to know. Then there's 3 types of correlation. You know, correlation is trying to know the extent of the relationship between two variables. There is something that is 3 types of relationship. There's one they call positive relationship, negative relationship, and zero relationship. I don't know whether it's here or not, because it's good to know knowledge. And read, after you can read correlation, get another textbook. It's not that you, because this thing we gave you with this modules we did, it just is not a detailed something. It's good that when you go, you still read ahead and know it. It might be here, it might not be here. So when you talk of positive relationship, it's trying to say that when the S, because this thing is, let's talking of S and Y variable. And the correlation is, the symbol for correlation is R. And correlation is 1. Correlation can never be more than 1. It is 1. It might be here, it might not be here, but listen and get this knowledge. Correlation, the symbol for correlation is R. And it's talking of R and Y variable. But the symbol for correlation coefficient is R. You know? And there are 2 types of correlation. There's one you call the Pearson product moment correlation and Spearman rank correlation. I don't know whether it's here. It might be here, it might not be here. But that's 2 types of correlation. The Pearson product moment correlation coefficient and the Spearman ranking correlation. And you use R to represent the symbol for correlation. And I told you that correlation is 1. It can be more than 1. And there's 2 types of correlation. There's 2 types of correlation. There's 2 basic types. This one is making basic types of the relationship now. We're talking of the relationship. We have the positive relationship, negative relationship, and zero relationship. When you take a positive relationship, it means that when one variable, that is variable of R, the S, when S is increasing, Y is increasing also. That's simultaneously. Then the negative correlation is saying that when S is increasing, Y will be decreasing. And zero correlation means that there is no direction. It's a scattered variable. It's even if you are plotting, it is scattered. There is no direction. Let me give you an example now. You know, there's a lot of churches now. I want to know that let's know the relationship between the development of different churches and the righteousness, how it's being correlated. Whether the increment of these churches, whether it has a positive relationship with righteousness or negative relationship. If you ask me, I will tell you that it has a negative relationship, because at the many churches is increasing in this world. The righteousness is decreasing. Evil thing. There are a lot of evil in these churches. A lot of churches, they open churches. There is a many churches, but that is evil keep on increasing. Do you understand? It means that as the increment of churches, the righteousness is decreasing. It has a negative relationship. It's not positive, because if the churches, as they have many churches, and the righteousness of people are increasing, it means it has a positive relationship. But when you check the correlation now, it has a negative relationship in this example I said. But that is when you have a positive relationship, it means that it's simultaneous. When the S variable is increasing, Y variable is also increasing. But when you have a negative relationship, it means that when S is increasing, Y is decreasing. But when you have zero, it means there is no direction. Know it. I don't know whether it's in this or not, but know it and read ahead. And I told you two types of this correlation, which will be I told you that coefficient of correlation, you use R, is R to represent it. Let's also use this formula to determine the correlation. This is this graph, scattered diagram for this the extent. The extent of the correlation between variables may or may not exist. It's in a rough. When you have a scattered this thing now, it knows that it has a zero relationship because it has no direction. When you do it, it has a scattered diagram. This one is example of zero correlation. When you're talking of that correlation now, it's have a scattered diagram. Okay, it's even here. There's a positive, negative, or no relationship. Have you seen it? The suggestion of a positive linear relationship. The relationship shown in a diagram above, just one out of many types of relationship. That is what I'm saying. When it's in a horizontal, when you plot it, it's a straight line. It's good, in a positive way. When one is increasing, the other one is increasing. You know that this thing we are saying is still the dependent and independent variable. When you are talking of two these things, and using the cells here, they even use cells here to give example. But no, this one is now talking of the extent, and the other one is talking of the nature. Do you understand? The extent of the relationship now, extent is now whether it is positive, whether it's negative, whether it's zero. But the other one is saying the nature. Nature is now, that's why we now do prediction. We want to know the nature, to predict what the future cell will be. But the extent now, when you say you have the extent of something, to know, when they say that this guy is good, or you say, how good is this guy? Have you seen it? You want to know the extent of this guy's, we are saying that this guy is good, his behavior. You want to know maybe the extent of why people are saying that this guy is good. Know whether the extent of that goodness in that person. Do you understand? Because anything you are saying, you want to know the relationship. We are talking of the relationship now. Relationship mean that the extent of this relationship, whether is it a positive relationship? Is it a negative relationship? Is it a zero relationship? zero or no relationship. When we say zero, meaning no relationship. So read it is here, sir. See how when it's positive, see how it's going. When one is increasing, the other one is increasing. See the negative, see how it's going in the other way direction. See no relationship. I told you that it has no direction. It has no direction. So that is it. You see how it is. See the other one, negative go in left side. Positive is being in right. When something is going in right, this thing, you know it's going well. But when you're going in a left side, you know this is not going in a good. So this is the formula to determine the formula to determine the correlation, which I told you is summation of x minus summation of this. Just know the formula. Using that, the same thing we use to determine it. So what you will do is just use the same. So what you are determining the SY, you're determining the X, you're determining the Y. Just when you determine it, everything, you just substitute it and know the correlation, which I say R, you present R. When you just do it, you substitute it. That's it. That's what we did here. You now determine the correlation. Have you seen the correlation R is 0.8309, which I told you it is either 1 or less than. When you get this thing now, you call it has a strong relation. Let me tell you another one. There's one you call a strong positive relationship and a strong negative relationship. When it is from 0.5 up to 1, it will not say it has a strong positive relationship. But when it is plus here, it is not minus. When it has 0.5 down, that is when you say it has a weak, it is not strong, a weak positive relationship, because this is plus, when it's plus. But when this place is minus, like when you get it now, it's minus, and it's 0.83, this, it still has a strong negative, have you seen it? A strong negative relationship. But when it's 0.2 down, 0.5 down, and it's minus, it's at a weak negative relationship. So when you get it, you still know how you will say which one it has. And this regression ranges from -1 to plus, which I say for you to know that you can get minus and also plus. That is what it means. It ranges from -1 to plus, which I already said. You have almost finished. Any question? But I want you people, because it's not here, but I want you to read it. You also like it. go and the Pearson product moment correlation, which is what we are doing, which is that R equals to D. Then I want you to go and read the Spearman rank correlation. It's still very sweet for you to know it. Not that it might come and know it. So to know the difference between the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient and the Spearman rank correlation. And also, it's good because although it's not here, to even know the calculated value and the tabulated value, because the calculated value is the one you calculated. When the T, because there's something they call the T table value. T table value is when the sample size, when the population size is less than 30. And when it's less than 30, it means that you are using it as sample. We normally call it student T table. You know, there's something, the normal distribution, you download it. Know the normal distribution, the Z distribution, the Z table, the normal distribution table, you download it and know it. The T, student T table, the Z table. When it's T, it means that the population is small, which is less than 30. It means you are using it as sample size. That's when you say calculated T. And they say the significant is normally 0.05. It's not here, but read it. I think those that do that, offering this production management, I taught it to them because it's in their module. But go and read it. I want you to know it. Read everything about correlation, and you will know it. You will see it. Even the how to compute it. You know, you will see everything. It's not here, but I want you to read it. Anywhere you are getting confused, you can call me. I will call because it's not here. Any questions so far?
Okay, ma. We're actually asking for your contact in case we encounter anything so that we can reach you and find out more on it.
Okay. Okay, you can take it 080. Are you ready?
Yes, ma.
Because this is the
ma.
last lecture. So when you are reading, anywhere you are confused, when you call me, if I'm outside, I will tell you to call me in a few minutes. Because at times I might be out. Yeah, if I'm at home, any question, ask me, I'll put you through. Because read everything, read it well. Maybe it's about exam, I might just one day do a little revision if I can do. I'm not promising that but take the number 080. Are you there?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
63 69 02 55 080 63 69 0255. So, did you get the number?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So you put just so that thing about correlation, I want you to read further. Read it very well. Anywhere you're getting, you call me. It's very good. No, let me explain the Spearman correlation. The Spearman is you rank it. The Spearman is as what I mean that you normally use it for those that are writing product. Use it for pilot study. Assuming you are doing a project and you're doing research, you normally use Spearman for pilot study, for reliability, knowing the reliability, how reliable the instruments you are using will be. Instrument mean maybe questionnaire. Assuming that maybe you are doing a study in manufacturing firm or banking industry, and you prepare your questionnaire. You say, okay, maybe you are using a sample size of maybe 300. You say, okay, let me do a pilot study using a 40 pieces of question. Use 40 questionnaire and just distribute and know the instrument, how they will answer it, know how reliable what they will say will be in the work. Then when you share the 40 questionnaire, And when you come back, do you understand? You still, maybe 2 weeks, you still take the same quantity, the same content of that questionnaire to that firm, also to those people that are using as your, that will answer the questionnaire for your research. After, for 2 weeks, they finish, when you come back, you now check the first instrument you took to them, how they answer it, and the second one. So when you are ranking it now, the highest one, you rank that one highest, because you're using the 5 Likert scale. You know, you normally use 5 Likert scale. Strongly agree, disagree, undecided, and strongly disagree. So when you want to rank it down, those that you check, those people that said strongly agree, maybe they are 30. Those people that said agree, maybe they are, let's say, 10. Those that said disagree, maybe they are 5. Those that say undecided, 2. Maybe those that say strongly disagree, maybe 1 or something like that. Then you check the other one. Those people that say strongly agree, you know, they are the highest. You rank it 5. Just check it, you know, your questionnaire. Each question carry those that say strongly agree, because I said you are distributing 40 questionnaire. It means the number will be 40. Do you understand? And the formula is, formula is R equals to 6 square root of D square all over N minus, when you read it, D meaning the difference between the rank of X and the rank of Y. Because all of them is relationship, but it's in the Spearman rank. We are ranking it. Because the questionnaire you make is 40. And those that you have it question 1, question 2. When you come to question 1, maybe those that say strongly agree in that question 1, maybe 30. That's what I mean. You also check the question 2. Those that say strongly agree. Those ones that have the highest DC, you rank it highest. Because you are using the 5 Likert scale. Strongly, not 5. You like the highest will be 5. Starting question 1, question 2 to 4. No, I'm just saying that when you read it now, you understand what I mean. It's just that it's not here. But it's good for you to know it, because anything correlation, it's good for you to know there's 2 types. Pearson product moment correlation coefficient and Spearman rank correlation. You normally use that Spearman for regression analysis or Cronbach alpha. When you want to test for reliability, when you are doing research, reliability, you want to know the reliability, how reliable your instrument is. You normally use the Cronbach alpha or Spearman rank correlation. And Spearman rank correlation is one of the correlation, That's why I say it's 2 types. So when you read it, you know it. I just want to give you just explanation. It's not here. Because the person that developed it, he didn't even put that one. But know it. As it's not here, it might not come out in exam. But I want you to know it. It's good to know it. Because when you are doing your project, you still use it. You do reliability. That's why I'm teaching. Well, you are not even teaching just for you to write an exam. It's for you to know it. Because you are going to use it for many things. So there is no question. Hello?
Hello, ma.
Any question?
No, ma.
Okay, when you are reading any question, just call me. I will be at your service.
Thank you, ma.
Okay,
Thank you, ma.
good night. Good night.
Oh, good night, ma.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.